Hello to you, Mark Hall here with the weekly fine wine investment market update. Today, Thursday, the 14th of November, 2013. So the results have been released for October, and the results across the indices, well, they are as follows. The LiveX 50 index, which represents the Bordeaux first growths only, well, that was down in October by 1.5%, and this drop has now all but erased the gains the index made in the first quarter of the year, and is now showing just a 0.6% rise year to date. The LiveX 100 index, well, that was down 1% in October, recording its 7th consecutive monthly fall. The LiveX Bordeaux 500 index, well, that fell by 1.2%, and the Investables index was down 0.9%. On the back of these dismal results, a small spark of light at the end of the tunnel, and that was the fact that the bid-offer ratio, well, that actually rose last month to 0.35%. And active markets on the exchange, that is the wines with either a bid, an offer, or both a bid and an offer against them, well, that rose to a record high of 4,248. Bordeaux's share of the trade in October, well, that was 80%. On face value, well, that may seem high, but compared to the recent past, this figure demonstrates the broadening taste for wines from other areas. In 2011, for example, Bordeaux secured over 93% of the trade on the exchange, a figure that was, at that time, historically typical. Now, and we've been stating all year, buyers are looking for value and quality from other geographical regions. Port did particularly well last month, which may be a seasonal trend, and it took 3.3% share of trade. The good 1970 and 77 vintages, well, they were particularly in demand in October. Burgundy also did well, with the region taking 6.6% of trade, which was the area's highest percentage gain for over 6 months. So what wines did particularly well last month? Well, the top 5 wines in ascending order were the Montrose 2009, that rose in value by 7.6%. The Massetto 2007, which rose in value by 7.7%. The Petit Mouton 2005, which rose in value by 12.3%. The Petrus 2002 was up by 14.5%. And in first place came the Californian Opus 1 2007. That rose in value by an impressive 16.2% in October. Now, the often used phrase this year when describing the market is broadening tastes, and October continued this trend. Indeed, trade for regions outside of France continued to increase last month, with Australia and California doing particularly well. Trade from these other regions has in fact risen from just over 0.5% in 2010 to 2.2% so far this year. Also this month, LiveX compiled the Power 100. Now, that's actually a list of the most powerful brands in the market. It's particularly telling that the number 1 spot this year has not been taken by either a Bordeaux First Growth or a Domaine Romani Conti. Now, the full list can actually be found on our website. Now, returning to the woeful performances of the first growths this year, wines, incidentally, that we have, as a company, not bought into for the last 12 months. Now, LiveX calculated that trade in these brands has now fallen to around 35%, which is actually its lowest since 2004. Now, we firmly believe that at some point these wines will become popular again, but we also believe, as we have repeatedly stated, that the prices have to fall to comfortable drinking prices before any consistent growth can be expected. So if you're considering an investment in a first growth, well, our advice to you is wait until the bottom of the market has been reached, which in our view, by the way, is a long way off still. Even then, it would be unwise to expect the extravagant returns that the Chinese bubble created, because this market for these wines, well, it just no longer exists. And contrary to the advice being given in some quarters, neither Russia, Brazil or India are about to emulate China and leap into the market all guns blazing anytime soon. But, as we always point out, there are many wines making excellent returns for investors right now. So if you'd like to know what they are, or if you would like to be able to buy and sell wines from the LiveX at industry prices, well, just get in touch. Our details are on the screen. So, that's it for this week, and I look forward to seeing you next week.